Next up, we get Antonio Sumlin, star witness. This is a co-defendant. This is a co-conspirator in this indictment. He's somebody that has been around since the Rock Crew days, right? So this is a star witness. I'm surprised that they waited this long to bring a witness with this much potent information in there. Before we get into him, we have to look at this, because without what I'm about to show y'all, without this, we don't get Antonio Sumlin's testimony that we got.
Include the fact that there is just not a proper regard for the judicial system and the seriousness with which
Tragedy.
an oath in court needs to be taken. I actually view this much more akin to perjury, frankly, than a technical violation. And the sentence for perjury is up to 10 years. I am going to revoke 5 years of Mr. Sledge's probation. And Mr. Sledge, I am sympathetic to the fact that you have generally stayed out of trouble, and I want to commend you for that.
Without Munktul getting 5 years and his probation revoked, we do not get this testimony from Slime Life Shawty or Antonio Sumlin. We don't get those testimony, and I don't know. I know that when Wooney Lee went up there, the stuff he said did help the defense get a lot of plea deals and get a lot of dudes like much better deals than they ever would have gotten if the jury, much better time than they ever would have gotten had it gone to a jury. However, if y'all remember, Wooney Lee was answering questions kind of favorably to the state before that. Now, if you look at Sumlin, Sumlin is up there nervous as hell. He can't even really breathe straight. He can't talk straight. He is extremely scared of like being seen in this light. But he also knows, I don't want to get my probation revoked like Munktul. So they did that to him to set an example for everybody else. He sacrificed himself. And I'm saying he sacrificed himself. He went up there and said something other than what agreed with his factual acknowledgments. And now he got sent back to prison for it. And I think that's the reason for Mr. Sumlin being extremely nervous while he's trying to testify. He's like beyond nervous. Like,
now we talked about the web, and you said it was on Brownsmill Road across from the golf course?
Yes.
Okay. Who owned the web?
I don't know who owned the web.
Whose home was it?
What you mean, like who?
Whose childhood home was it?
Mr. William growed up in that house.
In 2021, did you spend time at that location?
Yes.
Who acquired it for you in 2021?
I think Mr. William had rented it for us.
And would people sell drugs outside of the web? Sell drugs at the web?
I mean, I sold drugs, but I don't know if nobody was selling drugs. Like, I can't say nobody was just selling drugs outside the web. Like, I wasn't even selling drugs at the web. Like, I go to the store, but like, he got that house for people who didn't have nowhere to go lay their heads, and like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if you get into it with your girl, you got somewhere to go. You want to have some extra company, you got somewhere to go.
Did he also provide the web so that you would stop selling drugs at the gas station?
From my understanding, he secured the spot so we can have somewhere safe to be, because they kept shooting up our store.
Who kept shooting up the store?
I mean, I don't know who wrote. Y'all didn't never go get them.
So I'm going to ask you again, did you sell drugs out of the web?
I mean, like, I never really really just sold drugs out of the well. I can honestly say it. Like, I never.
Do y'all hear how scared this man is? I ain't like we done heard some reluctant testimony throughout this whole thing. We done heard some angry people, but this is pure fear that we listening to right here.
I never really just sold drugs out of the well. I can honestly say it. Like, I never.
I didn't ask about you. I asked, well, did they sell drugs
You
out of?
actually just said you, so.
Oh,
You wanna ask a different
excuse
question?
me. Did YSL members sell drugs out of the web?
I mean, they weren't doing business with me, Hills. I mean, I went in a bit. And I can't tell you what another grown man. I wasn't watching another grown man do. Like, there's just something I ain't into.
Do you remember taking a plea in December 2022 in this
Plea
case?
come out, boy.
Yes, I remember.
All right.
When they ask about that plea, that means you done already said that this happened. So don't go back on it now, or we gonna put your ass in jail, boy.
And as a part of your plea agreement, do you remember going over certain factual acknowledgments?
Yes.
Okay. And have you had the opportunity to look at those factual acknowledgments prior to your testimony here today?
Yes, man, I did.
All right. Permission to approach?
You may.
Exactly, young Phil. That means if she bring that plea up, that means you know you done effed up, right? And I'm about to give you a chance.
I'm gonna show
I'm gonna
you
give you a
what's
chance
in
to
Martin
not get your
60 to the
probation
420.
revoked. Let's see.
VV? Do you recognize 420 VV?
It's funny, Roro said she needed to
You
buy
need
that
the whole
green suit,
document?
but that
Yeah,
cover
you
is
can
not
flip
for
through it
her.
to make sure the entire narrative.
I thought that green suit looked good on her that day with the green, black, and the gold color scheme. I like that.
Yes, ma'am.
And is 420 VV the plea agreement that you signed when you took a plea in this case?
Yes.
And does that appear to be the entire agreement with no additions or deletions?
Yes.
Looking at 420 VV, first I want to go to number 14. Here, the house on Browns Mill Road, is that referred to as the web?
I said it.
All right. Looking at number 13, does that say YSL members sold drugs from their home at 2539 Browns Mill Road, Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you initial that right there?
I did.
And did you initial that as a factual acknowledgement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go
All
on
right, so I'm gonna
prolific
ask you
transport.
again. Did YSL members sell drugs from their home?
Objection on SS.
Overruled.
Answer. You can answer.
Like, even though it wasn't just YSL member allowed there. Like, it just, like, what you saying? Have I ever seen somebody sell drugs out of the web?
I just asked, did YSL members sell drugs from the web?
Yes.
All right.
He did all that just to say yes, man. They trying to make all this time they was trying to make it seem like, yo, these guys are scared to answer questions because they're scared of the people. They're not scared of the people when they don't want to be snitches. They don't want to be seen as snitches. That's what they're worried about. They're not worried about anybody in the courtroom doing anything to them. They're not worried about thug putting money on their head. That's not what they're worried about. Like, he is nervous because he is on 4K or he's on 1080p and being broadcast to the world doing this. And you can't really take back what you did because you made it a factual acknowledgement. Now, you could have done what Muktum did and said, I lied, or not I lied, but all of that stuff is false. Yes, I signed it, but it's false. You could do that, but you're also going to go back to jail. Now, if you were going to do that, then why did you take the plea? Well, we know why Moontoon took the plea deal. His mom was sick. He wanted to come home. But it's just the thing of you had the possibility of beating the case or, whatever, some other outcome other than saying like, all right, I'm just going to sign whatever, get out, and then come back later because I lied at trial. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they scared of the state. They're not scared of the defendants. They don't want to go back to jail for something like this. It's like, you know what I mean? My end time is coming up, but I want to play Vivarito's joint now.
Approach.
So, another thing.
I'm
let
going
me
to show
just
you what's been
real
marked
quick.
as State's Exhibit
How much time is that
60T.
Now, another thing that I want to say real quick. Obama ended up going on to say like they did have issues with YFN. It was crazy. He said this. He let this slip out. He said they asked, yo, why did you have issues with them? He said because they killed my friends. And then he took it back. He said, well, I don't know who killed my friends. A lot of people was trolling about it. But just the fact that he let that slip out, specifically when being asked about YFN, shout out to you, Nessie, specifically when he asked about YFN, when he was asked about YFN, he let it slip out, they killed my friends. Now, it's not good to tell on your homeboys, but it's also not seen as a positive thing to tell on your ops either. If y'all notice, there are no YFN witnesses in this trial. They had Lucci's mom, but she's like not technically YFN. She's his mom. And they had Nut's mom, but like technically they couldn't get any of the ops to come testify against him. Even when they had A. Bennett or Chillian Bennett come, she didn't even want to say nothing. Like she didn't even want to tell anything like that. So him answering that question like that in gang world and in prison and all this type of stuff, that is not seen as a good thing. You ain't allowed to tell on your ops either, honestly. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That was a wild thing that he had admitted to right there. What's going on, T-Dub? What else did he say? He also He also established that. So he was the one that Christian Eppinger called and said. Now I don't understand why they keep letting the state say that he was that Big Briss or Eppinger was asking for permission to stab wife and Lucci. He did not ask for permission. He was asking, how much can I get if I do this? Because he like, I need a lawyer. I need to get my money up. I'm ready to do it. Now, I just thought it was wild that they was just like, in their mind, thought they could take turns doing whatever they wanted to Lucci. I thought that was kind of crazy. But I thought it was crazy that they just thought they could do whatever they wanted to Lucci and just be like, hey, I'm about to do it to him. How much can I get for that? They wasn't worried that his guys was going to help out or nothing. It's like, they wasn't worried that he was going to get them. It was just, yo, let me get at him and I get some, let me see how much I can get for it. And of course they was trying to like talk in coded language or whatever like that. But when your phone is tapped or, you're talking on a jail phone, coded language really don't matter because, it's just, they can hear everything and they can sit around and wait to figure out what y'all talking about. So he didn't ask permission. He was asking how much money he could get for it. So they need to stop that. Let's see what else they said. I think it was also Obama that we heard a jail call from a while ago, which it didn't end up coming up when Obama was on the stand. I think it was Christian Eppinger was calling Obama because one of Eppinger's homies on the streets had got robbed by Obama and somebody else. I can't remember the name. And Obama's telling Eppinger like, yeah, I did it too. So what you trying to say? And Briss is like, nah, I'm just saying like, y'all ain't gonna give him my stuff back. He the only one that held me down when I was in jail or whatever. That was this guy. That was Obama saying, I robbed him too. These guys. Another thing that we find out, there's not a single one of these guys except Yak that got some sense when he's talking on the jail phone or any phone, period. Like Yak even checked his mom about saying Thug's name. And she was talking about mixtape business and music business stuff. He didn't even want her saying Thug's name at all. Like, don't say that name. He like, don't say nobody's name. She got on the phone barking about Duke. Like, oh, he gonna have to answer to some people. Why he called you to get you in the middle of all that? He should have took his ass whooping like a man and let it go. So he checked his mom about that. He checked his mom about saying Thug's name on the phone. Everybody else is literally just say anything on the phone. I can't. I see somebody said, Vanderveer said, YFM be on IG trolling YSL saying they all snitches. I'm not gonna lie, it does appear that way. These plea deals are absolutely crazy. Like, I'm not understanding it at all. But so then they have a wiretap expert come up there. They end up showing the IG post, like the disrespectful IG post from like the gang back and forth. It was like after Mr. McMiller and Mr. Ford got killed, they was just posting up some wild flagrant stuff. Like they was claiming them bodies and actually it was crazy. They was saying a bunch of different gangs was claiming it. I'm like, these dudes is just like, they just asking them to go to jail. The crazy thing is they don't have anybody arrested on that murder, but you got all these people on the internet literally like throwing their hand in the air saying it was me, like, and they didn't arrest nobody. So it's very crazy. And maybe they did that, like, remember the movie Life, when the warden come through with the baby and he holding it up to everybody's face. So then when everybody say, I'm the pappy, I'm the paw, that boy belong to me, all that, it throws everything off. So now everybody's claiming his body. So now the police don't know where to look. You understand? So maybe that's why they all did that on the internet. I don't know. It's some real little rascal shit they got going on though. I know that much. So they talked about the tap phones. Then you get Sprinkles back on the stand to talk about jail calls. Once again, Shannon's on the phones just saying any old thing. Vanderveer says Shell Kell not even in a RICO case. Shell Kell out here living his best life. Well, he has been in and out of jail and stuff like that, but still though, Shell Kell and Woody have seemed to come out on top of all of this, even with their friends dying and going to prison for very long times.